one day, you know, the lottery was at 2.1 billion with a B. Billion with a B. Me and Emily are on the way to work on our regular schedule, and I said, let's play the lottery. Let's play it. Mind you, had never played the lottery a day in my life.
Really?
Never. Okay.
Oh my God.
I was like, let's do it. When I tell you, I'm on Google looking, what the fuck is a quick pick? Oh, so they picked the numbers for me. Oh, so what the fuck? I'm just looking. She's like, girl, the fuck that shit. Look, we got to go to work. So I was like, well, we'll go ahead and go to work. Because at that point, Diamonds was on the corner of the interstate and there was a Shell gas station right here.
Yes, before it burned down.
Before it burned down. So we drove to work. She got out. I got out. We went, clocked in. Then I walked over to the Shell. This was probably at like 9 o'clock. You know, they draw at, I think, 11 is when they do the drawing. So I go over. I put in some numbers, which was my mom's birthday, my lucky numbers, and then I did quick picks as well. And I probably paid $20 for the whole ticket because I think it was $2 a game. And from here, I ended up going to work chilling. I look up, it's 12 o'clock. I said, oh, let me check my numbers, okay?
Right.
I check my numbers, and I'm like, hold the fuck up.
Lo and behold.
I download the app to figure out, am I tripping? Like, what's going on? And I look at the numbers, I put them in the little app, and it's like, yeah, you've won. So me not being as seasoned as I am now, I'm going around the whole club. I won the lottery! I won a lottery! I won! I'm going crazy. You know, I'm going crazy.
I take it you didn't see the lottery ticket movie with Bow Wow.
I did not see the lottery ticket movie. So I'm going around popping it. I'm so excited. And I tell Emily, like, I won the lottery. Like, this shit, it worked. It worked. She's like,
wow,
girl, okay. You know, when I think about it now.
Was she happy for you? Do you think she was?
The response that she gave me that night was like a, girl, okay. As into where I feel like if I really had had a friend who wanted to see me win, would have been like, bitch, period, we up, you know, at the end of the day. Because one thing about it is that at this point, Emily didn't have a car. I did. You know, her and her ex had one together, but he was using it, whatever. Right. So she was looking for a new car. And, you know, at this point, we had probably been working at Diamonds for like maybe a month or two. So we were making good money. I was making between $300 to $500 a night. As a waitress.
Way better than the 60.
Exactly. So for me, I was like, hey, I'm going to get my body done and then I'm going to help you get your car. She wanted this white Corvette, right? That was the agreement. Okay. So at this point, which this will be another episode, I immediately scheduled everything for my surgery. Everything, scheduled it all. And
where did you go? You don't have to say the doctor.
No, I went to the DR.
How was that? Were you nervous? Because, you know, it's a foreign country. You might not speak the language. And sometimes they be doing weird stuff when the girls are under on the table.
I agree, but I was fearless at this point, and I didn't I didn't know my education about plastic surgery. Really? I just had seen the lit doctor everybody was going to, message them on WhatsApp, yeah, put me in.
Really?
Yes, and I didn't have anybody go with me. Nobody. I went completely by myself.
What? No one to help you, you know, with your drains, nothing?
Nope. I had ended up booking a recovery house. Royalty Suites Recovery.
Sponsor.
Love them. Okay. I had booked them and they came with a package where you could do 12 days. I think it was like at that point $1,200. They gave you your gauze, a nurse, you got a little button if you need help. They did everything. And it was put together for me. Wow. So, you know, as I was out there having surgery, I ended up needing a blood transfusion and I couldn't call my mama. None of my family really knew anything. So, you know, this is when I called Emily, and, you know, when I called her, if you know the story time, you know. If you don't, it's on the TikTok, but...
This is just an overview for today.
Overview. Pretty much she was laying in the bed with a guy that I had started dating before I went to go get my body done.
Okay.
And from there, long story short, because we're going to speed it up, me and her ended up, you know, when I got back in town, the guy told me, me and her ended up, you know, kind of falling out. To be honest, if she would have gave me an apology, I would have forgave her because I cared more about her than the nigga anyways. But she didn't do that. It became a real beef. And our families were arguing. It was a bunch of stuff.
What did she do?
Silence. Yep, silence. Because my thing is like, she knew she was dead ass wrong. But I just feel like she couldn't come to terms with just being an adult and realizing that you fucked over somebody who literally we lived together like we would split everything. A pizza, split it. Phone, split it. Bills, split it. Everything was split between me and her, you know? So when she did this, it fucked it up because we were saving so much money living with each other.
Right.
We were able to hustle and stack because everything was 50-50. And instead of her being accountable, she just kind of left the house for a week and then started saying, oh, when are we going to end the lease?
Wow, and all this is after you're, off the table.
Yeah, I'm still in my drains. I'm still in my faja.
Wow.
I'm still getting massages, and I can't even get in my shower. I had a high sitting bed, like my bed was like probably like right here, and I had to climb onto it to get up, whatever. And I had to have somebody help me off, to where I had to do everything on my own. I had to tell my mom had to come in town to help me. Because there had been a situation where my blood glucose level had went down to like a 2. Your girl almost died. But I've almost died a couple of times. I'll tell y'all a story about a pineapple I choked on, but we'll talk about it later. But me and her separated. And so for me, it was like, you think I'm going to get a Corvette for a bitch that's fucking on the same nigga as me?
Wow. So she was having sex with a guy that she knew you were interested in, and you found out after you were already coming off the table in DR, drains coming out of you, and then she wants to break the lease.
Yeah, I didn't even get to fuck him yet. So... Not that I was ever going to, because he was just too aggressive, you know, and I had expressed that to her. But he also was very nice in his own ways, just too aggressive for me. I don't like when a man, like, he would be like, grab me from my throat and stuff. Come here. Like, no, I don't fuck around. So that was kind of the end of me and her friendship. But I got even more motivated. Let me really make the best out of me moving to Atlanta. Let me keep building.
Right.
And from there, when me and her started, beefing a little bit, she started playing with my money at work. She was my bartender.
Right.
So she would hold my tabs at the end of the night and be like, hey, this is what you owe in drinks, whatever. I know what my drinks are at the end of the night. And I knew that she had a method to her madness. The way she would make more money is if she had any random drinks, she would put them on the next waitress tab and just be like, yeah, it's da-da-da. Or if she had to walk out, she would put it on somebody else's tab.
Really?
Yes. So
did the owner know?
No, they probably know now because they probably have seen my TikTok stories. But I didn't tell on her. I just had clocked her one night and was like, bitch, ain't no way my tab 500. I know my tab's supposed to be 360, Right. And I remember this because she had befriended a bum in the club, is what I call it, which was this girl who just was washed up, washed out, would walk out on her drink tabs, just do all types of shit that you're not supposed to be doing.
Right.
And as I'm, clocking Emily, like, no, that's not my tab, whatever, this girl ran up on me.
Ran up on you?
Still in lipo boards.
Really?
Still in faja on. Ran up on me, and I passed out. I clicked out. For real. Like, they had to wake me up and, call the ambulance type of situation.
Wow.
And I was told that Emily literally got in the car with that girl, and they left and went to the after hours, which was called 1 at that point, and continued to party.
Wow. So Emily, essentially, ever since you won the lottery, it seems like your friendship started going downhill. Has she ever contacted you since you've done your story time, since you've kind of expressed? Because I did see in one of your videos, you said, if she would have just came to you and apologized, you would have at least been open to speaking to her. And I can tell that it hurts you that this happened, because she was, a close friend that you came here with.
Exactly. So she hasn't reached out to me, but even as my supporters went and found her page and stuff like that, she still has our pictures up and shit like that. So I don't know how she feels. One thing about me and Emily's relationship is we know what our relationship was, as to where she never had, the people who are speaking from her family, she never fucked with. Her sister, there's a whole story behind there. She has this cousin that, to be honest, when me and her were friends, she did not fuck with none of them. But they're the ones coming out the woodworks, speaking on situations. Emily is non-confrontational. She's a very, sneaky type of person, is what I would say.
Right.
She would never confront me because you were dead ass wrong, and all I ever wanted us to do was win, So
and
I
loved her.
I loved her for sure. But I can only love somebody so much to where I have to love myself.
Yes.
way more.
Yes.
And, the best revenge is your paper.
Oh, to say that again.
And for me, God has put certain things in place in my life to make sure I win.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, bitch, you supposed to be right here. She's supposed to be right here. We're supposed to be sitting here, the Emily and Gorgeous Doll show, whatever, whatever. But at the end of the day, for me, that's why I don't feel a way towards her. I forgive her.
Okay.
Not that she ever fucking apologized, but just to let her know, bitch, I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
But we wouldn't even have to be talking about this years later now if all she did was be an adult and take accountability, because I did not care about the nigga.
Right. It was never about the man. It was about the friendship.
Exactly. And my thing is that I let you around then and you snaked me then. If you was around for the niggas that I fuck with now. So I'm Gorgeous Doll, and this is Ari, and this is Storytime with Gorgeous Doll, and we're going to check out until our next episode, and we hope to see you guys back.
Bye.
Bye.